Done with sports talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed, baby. Now, some heavyweight news, right? Deontay Wilder's fight versus Luis Ortiz been confirmed for November the 23rd. Y'all know I hate it, right? Don't like the fight. Wish he would fight Wilder. I'm telling you, he should fight Wilder. No reason to fight Ortiz. Here is another proof that there's no reason for Deontay Wilder to fight Luis the Real King Kong Ortiz other than helping Luis the Real King Kong Ortiz's daughter. That's the only reason. Other than that, there's no reason. Here's an example. Showtime, right, as Steven Espinoza, has said, hey, no to the fight, basically. He's done a lot of quotes. I'll put an article if I find one. I probably, because it's news from yesterday. Probably won't find it. If I find it, I'll put it up there. But basically, he's saying that, we're not going to make no crazy financial commitments, right? Because we don't know what's going to bring in. It doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense is a direct quote. Luis the Real King Kong Ortiz versus Deontay Wilder doesn't make sense for a pay-per-view on Showtime. And Wilder's been in Showtime for a while, handling his business, right? And it makes you think how boxing is. Heavyweights. We saw with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury got 3,000 people in there. ESPN won't release what it made, how much money it made just at the gate, because it's ridiculous. Now, the best heavyweight, in my opinion, is Deontay Wilder with 40 knockouts for sure. And my point is, Deontay Wilder should be pay-per-view just by himself. Because Deontay Wilder's not pay-per-view, then who the hell is? And I'm talking all the boxing. Who? You better be lucky. You from somewhere and you got your kind of people following you. But if you're talking about entertainment, you're talking about a heavyweight champion that's knocking everybody out. If that's not pay-per-view, then what is? And here's another thing. Deontay Wilder fought his last opponent, Dominic Breazeale, who was a mandatory. Think about it if Anthony Joshua fighting his mandatory somewhere in England. They filling up stadiums, right? That's what Deontay Wilder's been saying the whole time. We know what time it is. BTBG. It is what it is. And that's the bottom line. You're going to say Luis the Real King Kong Ortiz versus Deontay Wilder is not pay-per-view worthy. And that's my whole point. Somebody else needs to fight Ortiz. He's sitting here fight Ortiz. I got Ortiz, really. If you talk about the rest of the top 5 heavyweights, taking Deontay Wilder out, who you got Ortiz and Tyson Fury? Who you got Ortiz and Joshua? Who you got Ortiz and Ruiz? Who you got Ortiz and Parker? Who you got Ortiz versus Dillian White? Right? All them the other guys I'm mentioning, all of them, you got Ortiz in those fights. If you have Ortiz winning or not is up to you, because now you can still say he's old, whatever, because he's not going to fight your guy. But all of those guys, Ortiz is in those fights, right? He's arguably the second most dangerous dude in heavyweight boxing, arguably, and that's a good argument until someone proves it otherwise. So if the people that's not resonating and it can't be pay-per-view, then there's no reason for Deontay Wilder to be even thinking about fighting that, right? Fighting him. I told you he should fight Otto Wilder. That would probably be pay-per-view because you have. You saw what he did to Tyson Fury. It's the way to fight him now. Well, Ortiz should not be fought if it's not pay-per-view. Not from one of the top guys. It shouldn't be because it's definitely risk. And that's what people have been saying. Like Tyson Fury. How long has Tyson Fury been saying this? About 3 years? He's a high-risk, low-reward guy who is stupid to fight Ortiz. Because Tyson Fury says stuff. You know how it is. He said it straight up. So that's his thought pattern when it comes to Ortiz. That's why he didn't fight him in the first place. And that's why Wilder's fighting him again. But it's very noteworthy to understand that it's not pay-per-view. And I think if pay-per-view is going to be extinct, this is going to happen. This is a good example of it about to become extinct because Ortiz should be pay-per-view. Definitely against anybody. Now, the fight's going to be on Fox Sports and whatever. It's not a problem. But if you're looking at Deontay Wilder flatlining his people, he's flatlined Dominic Breazeale and his other mandatory before that, the Stavern. I'm talking about highlight reel knockout of the year type knockouts. And he's having a problem with pay-per-view. They're not thinking about putting him on pay-per-view for Showtime. That's telling you what time it is. And so I think that's a hit for pay-per-view. Definitely in America, because America is talking. If that's a problem, because I don't know what other fighter would be pay-per-view worthy if Deontay Wilder's not. Now, I'm talking about by themselves. If they're not fighting what some people would call a bum or an unknown fighter, right? Then I think that for value for your buck, in terms of people that's coming to see knockouts, exciting fights, drama, who isn't better to go watch than a heavyweight knocking out everybody? In all of boxing. I mean, what do you want to see? A flyweight knock out everybody? And then he can move up 3 pounds and then he's in a different weight division. And then he moves up 6 pounds and he's in another weight division. Right? And then he won't even fight all the people in his division. You know, like Canelo or something going somewhere just fight because he don't want to go be undisputed. That's pay-per-view. So I mean, they at the zone now, but I'm just saying before it was all pay-per-view. So this one right here is important for us to pay attention to because Deontay Wilder can't fight Ortiz on Showtime for pay-per-view. If that's not a pay-per-view fight, then what the hell is? Because let me say, I know that well if it was fighting Tyson Fury. I'm not so sure about Tyson Fury being pay-per-view with Deontay Wilder now after his performances versus Wallen and Swartz fighting those guys, right? Having that problems with Wallen. I don't know. Now, the Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Joshua Winner for Undisputed, that would be pay-per-view. Everything else is going to have a problem here if they're not fighting in England somewhere. Let's see what happens going forward. That is significant. My opinion, and it should be yours, is Deontay Wilder should be pay-per-view if pay-per-view exists. If he's not pay-per-view worthy, then I don't consider nobody to be. I'm being straight up. Doma Sports Talk. Worldwide. And I'm about here, y'all.